getting into the video. As you can tell by the thumbnail, we're going to be going over the Atlanta Falcons. So all you dirty birds out there, this one's for you. This one's for you guys. But before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn that notification bell on so you're notified anytime we upload a video. This is our preseason preview. So that's what we're going to be going over. We're going to be going over the Falcons off-season stuff, draft stuff, and then kind of what they're looking like for the season coming up and how we think they're going to do and everything. So we're going to talk about all that goodness of them dirty birds.
All right, just starting it off real quick. Go over last year's stats for them and then get into this offseason. They ended the year off with a 7-10 record. Not sure how, but they did. They were almost in the playoffs at one point. They were shooting for it. But they were 26th in points scored, and they were 29th in points allowed. According to PFF, so take it as what it is worth for the team grades, but 25th overall, 21st offense, 29th defense, and then 16th in special teams. That's just kind of like what happened last year, and we'll see what's going on this year. Kind of coming into the season, this is the second year for this new regime with Arthur Smith and company. Not a bad, first year, especially like coming in kind of in the process of a rebuild, but not really yet. And now it seems that with the events that took place, they're on that full-blown rebuild part. But we'll get into the free agency with players lost. Mike, want to go ahead and take it away?
Well, we
won't go over all of them.
Yeah, can't beat around. Yeah, there's a lot of them. But you can't beat around the bush too long. Obviously, Matty Ice, Matt Ryan, traded to the Colts. Got a 2022 third and D'Angelo Malone. Is that what that means? Or did they draft D'Angelo Malone with that third?
I think that they drafted that player.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yes.
Lost tight end Hayden Hurst. He's now on the Bengals. They declined the fifth-year option for him. Russell Gage, wide receiver, went to the Buccaneers.
Good move for him.
Yeah, good move for him for sure. And then other people just didn't re-sign, mainly. Is there anyone of other importance on this list?
No one big, really.
Yeah.
They lost Dante Fowler Jr. They cut him. They cut Mike Davis, Matt Gano, Kendall Sheffield, John Kaminsky. They're all on other teams now. Like it was no secret that the Falcons were going to do this. They came in, like we said, and it was like in that limbo year. It wasn't really rebuild because of cap concerns and whatnot. And this year hit, and they just cut bait on everybody, basically. They did a huge overhaul. Really nothing like major. I mean, you guys had to trade Matt Ryan because you guys were also pursuing Deshaun Watson, and you guys brought Deshaun Watson in. And I think Matt Ryan probably felt a little bit disrespected, kind of saw where this team was going, and they'd done so much for him, he's done so much for them, kind of a mutual, like, we'll let you go, where do you want to go? And he's now up in Indianapolis. We'll get into the players that you guys re-signed and extended. You guys did re-sign your guys' just stud, Grady Jarrett, the defensive lineman. Got him another 3 years. It's a great deal. You guys did sign the main man, Young Ho Koo, for a 5-year deal. Re-signed offensive lineman, Jake Matthews, 3-year deal. Cordero Patterson, he's coming back on a 2-year deal. And then you guys got a lot of 1-year deals. This is a team that is building for the future, and they are letting you know in every way, shape, and form. Zacchaeus, the wide receiver, 1-year deal. Eric Harris, Anthony Rush, Quandre Olson, Colby Gossett, all 1-year deals on those extensions. And then Mikey, kind of go ahead with the players that they signed and they traded for.
Well, to start off, they signed Brian Edwards from the Raiders. They got Eddie Goldman from the Bears. Signed Marcus Mariota also from the Bears to a 2-year deal. They also got Casey Hayward, legend legend Charger and Packer, but he played for the Raiders last year, so he's a veteran in that cornerback room for him. Signed Lorenzo Carter, edge from the Giants, to a 1-year deal.
And then cutting in here, the Casey Hayward, Marcus Mariota, and Brian Edwards are the only players on this list that have multiple years on their deal.
Mm-hmm.
You guys signed Eddie Goldman. He actually just retired today or yesterday. He came out and retired, so he renounced. He's done for football.
Well,
So
there you go.
everyone else here, 1-year rental.
Yep. And I'll just run right. Lorenzo Carter was the 1-year deal. Rashard Evans, Damian Williams, Jermaine Jermaine
Effetti.
Effetti, Jermaine Effetti. There you go. Anthony Frisker, Vincent Taylor, Mike Ford, Demir Bird, Elijah Wilkinson, Dean Malawi.
I think it's just Marlowe.
Marlowe. There you go.
Yeah, I think it's Marlowe.
Bradley Pinnon, Auden Tate, Kadero Hodge, Nick, holy
Katowski.
Katowski. Bro, some people's names, I'm terrible with names, pardon me, so I'm sorry. Cameron Bateson, Tease Tabor, and Jalen Dalton. All 1-year deals.
Yep. 19 guys.
Yeah.
We're going over. It's just nothing more than training camp and roster fill-ups. Honestly, got to get those guys. You have to have a 52-man roster.
Mm-hmm.
Key ones, Marcus Mariota coming back, playing under Arthur Smith, who he played under in Tennessee. He also gets to bring over with his big body receiver Brian Edwards from the Raiders. But really, they did as much as they could with what's going on, and that kind of brings us to the the elephant in the room before we hit that draft class. They lost Calvin Ridley for a year due to gambling on the Falcons. Whereas I don't agree it should have been a year. I can understand why. I mean, they're told strict guidelines, I guess, on the sports gambling. It's like a seminar they have to attend. They have people come to the facilities and talk to them about it. It's a huge, big no-no, and I mean, he did it. So, I mean, you can't really hate it, but you can hate it, but you have to be able to understand it, I guess you should say. So that's a huge loss. You guys lost a lot of weapons. But then we'll just get into the draft, the happy part.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Mikey. Lead us off.
Well, obviously, with their first-round pick, 8th overall, they drafted Drake London. Some of his pros is that he's dominant at the catch point. He has good hands, good balance and body control. He absorbs contact well. But a bunch of his cons, he's not the fastest. His start-stop is slow, and then he struggles to gain separation. I don't know why some people like this dude so much more than what he actually is. He relied on so much of him going up and winning the football in college. He never got separation. He relied on being taller and bigger than everyone, which he is. He's 6'4", 219. That's pretty tall for a wide receiver. Most corners are probably around the 6-foot mark.
Right.
So he can go up there. He has a pretty good vert too. So that's what he relies on. He relies on his big body being able to go up and just use his hands and catch it. You're not going to get away with that in the NFL, though.
If anybody's seen our draft videos and receiving videos, we are not very high. At least Michael and I aren't. Dylan likes him quite a bit. I just don't see it. I think Dylan likes him because he does bring similar attributes that the Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. and former teammate at USC. They're both very similar, and I think that's the high end for Drake London, which is not a bad thing because Michael Pittman had a great year last year, and we could see something similar. I struggle with the way the NFL is built nowadays. Separation is key, and if you can't create separation, I mean, but it looks like it could be a good move, right? Like I don't want to like just crap on it. Like right now, it's going to be a little bit risky because you guys got Kyle Pitts and Drake London and Brian Edwards, all really big guys that aren't really creating separation super
Yeah.
easily. That's not like their key point. But you add Calvin Ridley into that group, and that's a pretty solid, combination and tandem. They complement each other. That's
Yeah.
what I was trying to say. Jeez, I struggled with that. And then the next one, Mike, was Arnold Ebiketie. He's an edge rusher out of Penn State, 6'2", 250. He's slightly undersized, but really they put on muscle when they get into the NFL. That's not really what he's going to be playing at. They lose weight during the combine when they get in there for their 40 times because that's flashes the most, and they put back on their playing weight later. Um, I really liked Arnold Ebiketie. I thought he was really good coming out of the draft.
Hmm.
The only thing that was like questionable is he's a little undersized, right? You kind of want those bigger, more athletic freaks. Um, he's a little bit raw with his moves. He was really good in college and he beat people with a few moves and it worked every time for him. So he just kept doing that. And he hasn't been playing that long, but he still has got a lot of time to grow. And he doesn't use his hands to like separate as well as you'd want him to. But
Hmm.
these are all like all that really right there is like undersized prospect. He makes up with that with his like, elite motor. I mean, the guy just never gives up. He doesn't miss tackles. He's got very good speed. He's extremely flexible on the bend when he's rushing around. And then he's not afraid to do the dirty work and play the run. He does what he's supposed to do. So all those like little things, you could add more moves. Question, if how strong he is, you can get stronger, and
Yeah.
then like, can you use your hands? That's stuff that can all be taught, can be coached at the level. They look into more details like that in the NFL than they do in college football. So I don't really have any quarrels with this pick. I thought it was a really good one. I'm excited to see what he could do for them,
Hmm.
or for you guys, I guess. But
With their second pick in the second round, they went with Troy Anderson. He's a linebacker out of Montana State. Coming in at 6'4", 243 pounds. Little bit of a reach in a sense because he's new to that position. He used to be a quarterback and he was an okay quarterback. Like he could throw it pretty well. He could run it very well. He's very fast. But kind of made the flip to linebacker. I think like maybe 2 seasons ago or something at Montana State. So he's new to the position, but he obviously can play it pretty well. But some pros for him. He's athletic. He's a solid tackler, and he can contribute to all three phases of the game. Few cons for him. Obviously, inexperience at the position. He's kind of like a Bernhard Ryman switch from tight end to tackle.
tackle.
Yep, and this guy went from quarterback to linebacker, but obviously, kind of in the same boat. He kind of transitioned well enough, and I don't think he's going to see a lot of field time to start off. Obviously, because he's new to the position, and he's going to go into one of the highest skill level leagues there is for football. So, but I think he'll be able to be coached up and learn everything, and I think he'll go out there and carve a role for himself out there somehow. He'll get on the field. I mean, they lack tremendously in linebackers anyway, so might as well throw him in and see what he can do and get that experience in him, maybe develop him a little bit. So,
Very true. Shameless plug. We did have him as one of our sleeper picks in our like a sleeper video. We looked at him. Small school. He's a really good guy.
hmm
So it was good to see him get drafted. Next one. The flashy pick for you guys. You guys picked up the quarterback from Cincinnati, Desmond Ritter. We really like Desmond.
yeah,
I think he's going to be pretty good. That's one of the questions we'll have at the bottom, when we go over the season. But he's 6'3", 211. He's got pretty good athleticism for his size, right? Nothing like out of the water, but like a Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers kind of athleticism, like getting out of the pocket, being able to move. Guys that like you don't think are fast, but when they get running, you're like, oh, hey, that guy's pretty. He's fast. You can't mess around with that. Like I think that's kind of where he's at. He also ran like the fastest 40-yard dash, right? So I shouldn't be saying that, but like he doesn't translate on the field as much. He's not that rapid on the field. Um, he's good with like the good sense of pressure. He understands the feel of the game. I mean, he played a really long time, so he's got um, good experience. He's accurate, except for the fact that we did like a review on him. He has problems because of his footwork, which is normally really good, and then just randomly, like on passes, on short passes, he'll change it up and it'll be inaccurate,
Mm-hmm.
and he floats balls over the middle. It's just kind of interesting, like just like dumb little mental mistakes that if you can fix, are really good. But that's a big if. That's the NFL. Like you can't have those mental mistakes and be a quarterback in the NFL. Um, the consensus is that they don't think that Ritter's gonna see any time. I think Marcus Mariota is gonna be the full time starter. Um, I kind of feel a little bit differently. You guys have shown that it's a 1 year team, right? You guys got rid of a bunch of players, refilled
Mm-hmm.
it all with 1 year deals. You're not spending any major money on people besides the guys that were already on your team that you want to keep there. And you've got a, a good quarterback class coming up with some potential really good guys. You guys drafted Desmond Ritter. If you guys are losing and it's showing that, why not throw him in, see what you got?
Exactly.
Um, and then, Mike, you want to just hit the last four real quick? Go for
Yeah,
us.
I'll just yeah, they got in blah, blah, blah. This is the D'Angelo Malone I was talking about earlier. This is who they also got in the third round. Another edge rusher out of Western Kentucky, 6'3", 243. Speedy, high motor, decent hand usage. Could add more moves to his pass rush. He overruns plays sometimes and questionable play strength, but we'll see what it can do. I mean, I think with how bad that line is there in Atlanta, I think he can see some field time and might as well. Not really
Yeah.
hurting anything. Then you guys picked up Tyler Algieri,
Algier.
Algier,
Algier.
Algier in the fourth round. He's a running back of BYU. Um, Gage, you're a Mountain West kind of guy.
Yeah. I live near BYU. A lot of BYU fans out here. He's a really good running back. He's a hard runner. He likes to look for contact. He's really quick off the burst. He's not he's not a blazer. He's not going to run away from people. Um, he's very limited. He is like a true running back. You don't see him catching anything out of the backfield. And then he had some fumbling issues in college. Can he fix that in the NFL? We'll see. He won't be like a true number one for you guys, but with Cordero Patterson, Damian Williams, and Tyler Algier, you guys will have a good, one running back committee, and he's got something to offer. Um, and then last two picks, really quick, just John Fitzpatrick, and then also the John Fitzpatrick, the tight end, and
Mm-hmm.
then Justin Schaefer, the homegrown guy from Atlanta, who played on the Georgia Bulldogs. His
Yep.
guard, the big guy. We'll see if he gets anything. He could be a good depth rotational piece. See if he can grow into playing in the NFL for you guys. Um, Kind of like everything you guys have done. So it just kind of like leads us to the points. Unlike some of the other reviews where we've done where the teams kind of you kind of figure that they're tanking, they don't really like accept it and they're still trying. I think the Falcons know that the Matty Ice era is over. It's time to cut bait, start fresh, get a brand new team out there. They seem to be doing that. They've got some really good young pieces, so if they can build it quickly, I think it could be pretty good. I mean, they've got Kyle Pitts, who could be a really good tight end. Calvin Ridley, when he comes back next year, is an elite wide receiver. Drake London has that ability. Potentially, Cordero Patterson is an amazing just gadget for your team. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he was amazing last year. Jake Matthews is a very good tackle, and he's a left tackle, so you got that set up. Chris Lindstrom, very, very good. Right guard. And then Grady Jarrett, obviously extremely, extremely good. And then you guys have Deion Jones, a great linebacker. AJ Terrell, corner, you guys signed. Right, so you guys have some like, young pieces thrown in there that you guys can build on. Um, I'm excited to see what the Falcons do this year. As a Browns fan, sucking all the time, it was always nice to like see like, ooh, this could be a good rebuild. What can we do for this rebuild? So it's nice seeing other teams and like what they can do with it in the future. Um, what do you think, Mikey?
What do I think about what the Falcons?
Yes, sir.
Um, I'm interested to see how they do. They have obviously you ran through all their good players. They obviously have good players on the roster. I think a lot of people just like to talk them down because why not? But they do have
Right.
good cornerstone players in their team. I think they just lack very heavily in actual good depth in a sense. So I think they will be rebuilding here for the next couple years. I mean, as you can tell by what we read earlier with all the 1 year deals, whatnot, they're for sure going to rebuild, and I think they can rebuild in the right way. I think Arthur Smith and company, I think they can get things headed in the right direction, and I think things could maybe potentially end up looking up for the Falcons in the coming years if they still play the draft right and everything and get the
Yes,
right
sir.
players that they need.
We would like to end this off. Last year they were 7-10. Mikey, are they getting better or are they getting worse?
Mm, I think they'll either stay the same or drop a game again. They don't have a
Again, Mikey.
what's up?
Say it again. They don't have a what?
I was gonna say they don't have a bad roster, but I mean, obviously, like I said, it lacks in depth and everything. So if everyone can stay healthy, I think they might end up around the same. So maybe wait, who know? Yeah, around the same. I'm a Dirty Bird fan today, baby.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more pessimistic. I see this and I see struggling. I think there will be close games. I don't think it'll be blowouts. But I don't see another 7-win season. I see around the range of 4 to 6.
Sure.
But we shall see. Um, Thank you guys if you guys have made it to the end of this video. We do appreciate it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified when we make more videos. Falcons fans, let us know how we did below. Let us know what you guys are expecting, what you guys are happy about, mad about, and we'll catch you guys for another video later. Deuces.
Peace out.